Today we celebrate the feast day of St. Agatha, and Agatha is in this category of saints. Ancient virgin martyrs is what they are, and pretty much all of them have more or less the same story. Okay, and we've got Agnes and Cecilia, Anastasia, Barbara, the greatest of all the ancient martyrs. But anyway, they all have just about the same story, and it goes something like this. You have a beautiful young woman from a very good noble Roman family. Father's almost always a pagan, and she's eminently marriageable. Okay, and this is good for everybody. Okay, and but somehow, some way, she decides to become a Christian, and she meets Jesus mystically, and decides, guess what, I'm not getting married anymore, and everyone's mad about it. It's kind of how it goes. And that's how it happens with Agatha. Agatha was supposedly around 15 or 16 years old. That kind of sets her apart. She's generally speaking older than the others. Agnes was a very small child, but Agnes was kind of an adult, and she was beautiful. Her dad says, hey, time for you to get married, and she says, nope, it's only Jesus for me, and that's it. Well, the Roman government gets involved. They're very angry because they think, hey, we need this beautiful young woman as breeding stock for the empire. That's what we need. And in reality, they should have just been less greedy, and the empire would have stayed. But that's okay. We need you, Agatha. The name Agatha, by the way, means beautiful. So it means in Greek, agathos. It's a beautiful thing. And she says, no, I won't do it. So, all right, we're going to put you in prison. What do you think about that, Agatha? And she says, send it. I don't care. I'm going to prison now. And they say, okay, we're going to torture you in horrible ways. And she says, I don't care because I love God and God alone. We're going to mutilate your body in a horrible, horrible way. We're going to take what's beautiful about you as a female, and we're going to make that seem ugly and terrible. And she said, I don't care. Do your worst. And they do. And anyway, it's a horrible thing, and she's there in prison, and they've really, anyway, I'm not going to describe it all the way. You can look it up. It's horrible. And in the middle of the night, she has a vision of St. Peter, and St. Peter comes in to talk to her, to encourage her that she's doing a good job, and touches her. There was an angel there to supervise because, she was so beautiful. But that's how the legend goes, actually. No kidding, there was an angel there to overwatch. And he heals her of her wounds. St. Peter does. And the Romans are, of course, amazed by that, and they said, well, we're going to have to kill you a different way now. The first time didn't take. The first way never takes on the ancient martyrs, by the way. They think they're going to give them to animals. No, you have to behead them. That's the way, And so eventually, not Barbara, so I got Barbara on the brain. Eventually, Agatha dies in prison. That's what happens to her at the end. And, I think that if there's one thing that the ancient virgin martyrs, all of whose names, by the way, are in the most ancient prayer of the Mass, which we're doing today. I'm sure Father Michael's going to do it anyway, but all of whose names are written in the ancient prayer, they all tell us this particular thing, is that the conventional wisdom is not always the best. Sometimes it is. When mom and dad say, hey, don't you drive your car too fast, that's always the best wisdom. When people say to you, hey, if everyone's jumping off of bridges, are you doing that too? Well, that is in fact usually the best wisdom, unless you're trying to escape a fire. You know what I mean? But in reality, though, the conventional wisdom is not always what's true, and it's not always what's good. Sometimes people collectively believe the wrong thing. Like today, like in the United States of America today. The common wisdom says, hey, listen, if you're a boy and you want to be a girl, go ahead. You can do that, no problem. That's the conventional wisdom today. I think we found out that's a lot less conventional than the news would have us believe, but the reality is, though, that things like that are going around. Oh, just be a nice person, and if you're nice and you let people do whatever they want, that's the way you be a good person today. That's the conventional wisdom. And for Agatha, the conventional wisdom was, little girl, shut up and get married like you're supposed to do, okay? That was the conventional wisdom for Agatha. And she says, yes, but I've met the Lord of heaven and earth, and I want to serve him alone. And the conventional wisdom is, we don't acknowledge any king of heaven and earth. Do what you're told. And she says, you know what? I'm reevaluating the conventional wisdom in the light of true wisdom himself, and your definition is wanting, and I'm going to do a different thing. Because what Agatha did and what Cecilia and all those people did was to say, I don't care about your conventional wisdom because everything that I do, I check before the throne of God first, okay? We've got a new conventional wisdom now. It's a different thing. The Word of God supersedes the Word of man. And what makes this so great is that this kind of defiance comes from these little girls that you don't expect to be defiant in that way. Stands up to all these adult men and say, no, I'm not doing this, and I won't be cowed by you. And it's pretty wonderful. It's pretty amazing. I think today what we ought to do is, in the spirit of St. Agatha, is consider this. In what ways of your life have you accepted the conventional wisdom that may or may not be correct about whatever thing it is? You know what I mean? There's all kinds of ways in which we do that. The conventional wisdom says, have the best house you can no matter what. The conventional wisdom says, store up treasures for yourself on earth for the sake of your security. And that's true to a point. And then after a certain point, it's not true, and it's hoarding, and it's strange. The conventional wisdom says, hey, listen, keep your discussions of God just to your home and to your family. And don't burden other people with what you think about that. Total nonsense, not true. Okay, that is not actual wisdom from God. There's all kinds of different ways, and one way or another, all human beings, all Christians, we're always fighting against accepting the conventional wisdom. We're always fighting that, and it does us good to consider from time to time, how have I done that? How have I let the thinking of the world come into my heart, and how can I check all those things against true wisdom revealed to us in the person of Jesus? Because the more you accept the real truth and real wisdom from God, and the more that we can kind of stop doing this conventional wisdom thing when conventional wisdom isn't true, because sometimes it is, the more that we can do that, the happier and the freer we'll be.